Hey there, happy Memorial Day, which is tomorrow. But it's something that I've really been contemplating this week, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it. For those of you that may not know, which is probably most of our clients now, I hope that you can hear me. I had a political radio show for 3.5 years in Houston on the station KPFT, which is a listener-owned station. And so I did that in my lifetime. I had a radio show that I produced and hosted, and got to talk about all my opinions about everything. And I kind of miss that. I wish that, sometimes I wish I was back in radio. But alas, I have other jobs to do now. But all that being said, I'm very politically active and have a lot of thoughts about things. I've even thought about running for office and things at some point, but again, I'm too busy. So, when thinking about this Memorial Day, what a weird position we're in and where we're at right now, and reading articles about how the top 10% or even top 1% has really seen their wealth increase during this, while the rest of us are doing our best to keep going and making it and, struggling. And right now, people are having to make those really tough decisions about if they're gonna put themselves at risk by going back to work because they need money. And that's a tough thing to watch people go through in a country that is very wealthy overall. It's just that the money is not, sorry, I'm gonna get comfy on the couch. The dispersal of money in our country is exceedingly top heavy. And that means that the typical person has to really make some tough decisions, again, about putting themselves at risk to go back to work right now. And it's really sad for me. And I just, we're hearing so much about economic downturn and the concern, and that's why they want to get everybody back to work, because we're never going to recover from this if people don't get back to work. And instead of reworking the system itself to support all of us that make your economy happen. I'm going to try really hard not to curse during this video. It's a sad state of affairs that we're in right now when those are the decisions that people are having to make, and the people at the tippy top are raking in more cash while others are having to put themselves at risk to put food on the table. It's not only unfair, in getting into Memorial Day, and that there are lots and lots of people who have lost their lives fighting to let us be able to do what we want to do, what we dream of. It's pretty upsetting. And what I wish for is for all of us to start thinking really hard about where our dollars are going. And this is for people that have dollars. If you've got a choice to make about right now buying something on Amazon or doing the extra 10 minutes of research to find a small company that sells tents or your bathroom soap or your floor mop or whatever it may be. I've been getting online and being like, nope, not going to buy that from here. I'm going to check and see what mom and pop shop has a website somewhere that I can order from, and It may be 10% more expensive, and it may actually be that they're having a sale right now. I've gotten some great deals lately from some smaller companies that I know, and I just ask that you make that choice, because we are consistently and always, with every single purchase that we make in the United States, we're voting with our money. We are very aware that corporations own our politicians at this point, and one of the few ways I feel like we still have a clear voice in the world is with our money. And I'm very aware that a lot of us don't have any right now, and that you have to buy things from Walmart and you have to buy things from Amazon, and that's okay. I'm not shaming anyone, but I am asking, those of you that got an extra $10 to spend on that item, possibly that was going to cost $150, or something that's $1 more from somewhere else, to go ahead and make that decision. Because not only are we supporting small businesses, I hate this big American fallacy that Amazon isn't making enough money and Walmart's not making enough money and they're going to have to lay people off. There's a difference between the economy going down and people getting laid off and you shifting your money to a small business, where when you shift your money to a small business like mine or any other, you're giving us the opportunity to hire someone from Walmart, to hire someone that was in a low-paying job, who doesn't get any time off when they're sick, who doesn't have the benefit of feeling like they're working for a family. When you move your money over to a small business, you're actually creating jobs in a sector that's much more kind, usually, that really supports the individual and having time off and understanding when you need to be late, and just a very different sense of life when you're working for a small business. And so, don't buy into the idea that spending money with big corporations is going to improve our economy. I'm here to tell you that it's not. And moving your money over to somewhere else, if you can right now, is one of the most important things you can do. Obviously, we're watching small businesses go out left and right now, particularly restaurants. I'm kind of concerned that the next wave is going to be not just restaurants, and so we've really got to make some decisions right now about what we're doing and how we're spending our dollars. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is voting with your dollars as far as ingredients goes, and that has to do with food and skincare and everything else that has anything to do with your body or the environment. I talk a lot in a lot of my other videos about how, when you concede into purchasing skincare that just has a little bit of this chemical and a little bit of that chemical, for one, if everything in your bathroom has a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you have exceeded the level of cancer-causing ingredients that you're supposed to be allowed to have to still be safe. To me, there is no safe level, and for you in your home, there should be no safe level of cancer-causing ingredients. So when you really get stringent about cutting those out at your home, you're telling the cosmetic industry that you're not willing to do that anymore. There are way safer ways to do things. It was a big push whenever they discovered these chemicals that could make everything shelf stable, they were necessary, when for hundreds of years we had been making skincare that at least had enough shelf stability that people weren't getting bacterial infections every day from their cosmetics. These are choices that you do have and you can make, and it can take a little bit of research sometimes, or it can take finding a company that is very stringent like we are. And I know that there are other people out there too that refuse to put chemicals in their skincare. And then we can get into packaging. I get really disappointed when I see a new company that I do really like their ingredients and they're putting everything in plastic jars. And honestly, most of the time, glass is cheaper. It's harder to ship. And that's why it's really hard for us to give discounts on shipping here at Brazen Bee, because we do ship almost everything out, or actually everything out in glass, and we're moving over to doing paper bags for the face wash and things like that. But the packaging is also something that I ask you to look at when you're making purchases, and how much ends up in the landfill, and other things that we do around here. I buy tree-free paper, and our toilet paper is tree-free, and there's a myriad of ways that a company can be green, and it's worth it to look into some of those things when you're making purchases. To just loop this back around into the Memorial Day issue and the idea of independence, and that people have lost their lives so that we can build a dream here. I think that it's worthwhile to ask that we try to keep the small business dream alive right now, especially. It's going to be, the worst thing for our economy is going to be if only the big guys make it out of this situation. That's going to be the saddest thing of all. So be mindful in your choices right now. Be passionate. And if you have the opportunity to help somebody else that is struggling, do that. You're going to feel great about it. Whether that's dropping off, some nice groceries, or buying some home care products, or whatever it is. There's a lot of people out there that need help right now that really aren't being talked about. There's so many jobs that are not just located even in the small businesses, but obviously people that work in sports industries that are sports people with millions of dollars every year. There's a lot of sections of society that I think we've got to kind of figure out how to rework and how to help, and wish that, damn it, there were another stimulus bill that were actually going to come through and come down, so that people weren't having to make that choice about putting themselves in danger to go back to work right now. We're too damn wealthy of a country for people to be having to do this. It's absurd, and we should all be really pissed off about it, honestly. I am. I am continuing to keep the doors shut here because in town there are only people walking around without masks on, filling the sidewalks. I can't go down and walk down the street safely without brushing up against people. No one's wearing a mask. I'm not going to open the front doors and police the damn front door and fight with people about putting a mask on to come in my store. It's not going to happen. So we're still closed, and it's going to remain that way for the foreseeable future. I'm not willing to put my employees at risk, and I'm not willing to ship products out to you that the general public has come in here and put their hands on. People open things, even though I tell them not to. They want to open all the jars and be like, oh, I should stick my nose in it. Like, your nose is the last thing you should be sticking in anything right now that doesn't belong to you. So apparently yesterday we had some man, we create a plant wall in front of the store so people can't come in, and it keeps people like 6-7 feet back from the door in our little plant wall. A man barged through the plants and came in and cussed Marissa out that we should be open because the door is open and unlocked, and he was very angry. It was very upsetting to hear that this morning. She didn't tell me until today. And that's ridiculous, but that's the reason, he's a perfect example of why I'm not willing to put the doors open, because we're not going to have fights with people. I'm not going to have this discussion with you. I'm the business owner here, and the person that I'm responsible for is not just me. It is my employees. It is every single one of you that order online. And making sure that we're in a sanitary environment right now as best as we possibly can be. We're going to do that. And we're taking a big money hit because the street is full, and I could be selling crap like crazy out the front door right now. It's not worth it. Your health isn't worth it. My health isn't worth it. No one's is. And the sanctity of what we have here is something that I won't bend on. So I'm sorry for my local clients that are having to not be able to come in as well because of that. You know, that's just the way that it is, and I'm not going to apologize for just wanting to be really safe in this situation. So yeah, I am going to do a little Memorial Day sale. I can't do a big discount, but it's 10% off everything on the site. The code is Memorial Day 2020. It's all lowercase, and that includes 10% off of things that are already on sale right now. Thank you for all the love and hearts. Yeah, so, you know, if you're going to do some sales this weekend, buy from some small people, please. We're all going to have a sale, I'm sure. Do what you can to make sure that people in your neighborhood, or just people, even, you know, a small business across the country that's still a mom and pop shop, needs your help. So when you're looking for something that you really want, check and see if you can find it from a smaller company. You know, even if it's the same item and it costs a little bit more, if you've just got a little bit more to spend from a mom and pop shop, or the shipping is more because we don't have a big deal with FedEx and UPS and stuff like that, try to do that. And if you can't, I really do understand. I'm not pushing people that are living in poverty into spending more money, but there are some people out there that do have those choices and that can afford to spend a little more to make sure that it's going to somebody that isn't just going to throw it up to the people at the top of the corporation, that it's really going to get spread around to the small guys, and support hiring new people if that's possible right now. You know, these are the things that we do to help other Americans. These are the things that we do to keep these dreams alive. And yeah, I mean, I am definitely a real case of the American dream happening for somebody. I started this company on food stamps with 3 small children 9 years ago, and I literally paid for my first ingredients with my food stamps and turned around and tripled that, you know, so that I could feed my kids and actually pay our rent. And it's turned into this today, and it's pretty amazing. I'm very grateful. So this is just my Memorial Day gratitude video. I love you guys very, very much, and I hope that you make great choices. And I hope that if you can't spend money with a small business, send us an email. Just let us know that you're thinking about us and that you wish you could. You know, I'm doing fine. We're fine. I just hope that some of my brothers and sisters out there are still doing fine too. Yeah, I think that's it. I love you very much. You guys have a great weekend. Stay super safe. Go out and howl at 8 p.m. If you're in a howling place like we are, it feels really good. And I love you dearly. Thank you so much. Bye.